Rasta bus. Rasta run on the way. Oh, go on, chuck man. Take Rasta bus. You know, clear mother. Clear mother.
No man, it's what them pull out the job.
Chop him up.
Chop why? He's in the bush.
Look, feel nice. Let's kill the boss. Chop money, kill people, brother.
Welcome back to MyView TV, the people's platform, the home of undiluted news, reviews, updates, and your daily dose of entertainment. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, like, share, and subscribe.
I don't bring nobody forward in your cheer for me. Everything what you see up my natural talent. Let me tell you something. You see, when you know what to please the audience with, it's simple me.
Welcome my people, hope everybody doing okay, hope everybody doing alright. Give thanks to life and the gathering, then people. Who say the boy I work at police, the informer boy. Kill him then, me need to talk about it, you know. But guess what, I go on pan what I go on in Ghost Cook right now. Remember me always tell you say me have my receipt, don't it? Yeah, so me have my receipt for show the people, let me know about wait there first. Me not reach right there so yet. Let me just do that little part of the thing right now because the people they've been asking really are going for the King's Council. So, this is how I go on.
Bubbla had previously testified how he recorded telephone conversations between himself and Beachy Stout leading up to the murder of Tonya. He testified that Beachy Stout gave him 3 phones and SIM cards on separate occasions to communicate with him. He said Beachy Stout took back the phones because he feared information on them could incriminate him. But Bubbla told the court that the recordings were stored on a memory card which he kept. Those recordings were entered into evidence and played in open court. The prosecutor asked Bubbla if he recalls if it was before or after Tonya's death he started making the recordings. A seemingly confused Bubbla replied, quote, "It was after mom," end quote. He again told the court that he saved the recordings in a file on the memory card, which he labeled as Vybz Kartel. At the time of his arrest in August 2020, Bubbla said he handed over his phone with the memory card to the police. In court, Bubbla was asked to identify the phone. He did so. He was also asked to identify the voices on some of the recordings. In the first recording, a voice was heard saying, "General." Bubbla said that was his voice. Another voice was heard saying, "Alright, when me check my wallet a 50 grand me have in there, how much you want out there?" Bubbla said that was the voice of Beachy Stout. The conversation continued with Bubbla saying, "Just give me what you can give me. Me just want the man there feel good." End quote. He said the man being referred to was a taxi man who was at Beachy Stout's house. The voice said to be Beachy Stout's was heard asking, "How much you want out there?" Bubbla responded, "Alright, give me 30 out of it." Further into the conversation, the voice identified as Beachy Stout said, "Member, we can't do much talking unless upon this, and we no longer can meet again, you know." The prosecutor asked Bubbla what he meant by this. He responded, "It mean we can't do too much talking unless upon the banger phone that we was on." The defense team objected to the line of questioning on the basis that Bubbla was being asked to interpret the evidence. That objection was overruled. The prosecutor continued asking what was meant by, quote, "and we no longer can meet," end quote. Bubbla responded, "We only can link pandemia where we have. Me must only depend on the money that he was going to leave with the person to pick up. Me must go and collect it and don't check him back, because me and him not going to meet again." One of the recorded conversations started with the voice attributed to Beachy Stout saying,
"You know, so you were the right way."
When asked by the prosecutor what was meant by this, Bubbla said,
Me tell him, say, make me do it. Kill me smack over my yard, ma'am. And him say, no, do it a fame yard. And then him see it, say, it coulda do a fame yard. She say, my way are the best way.
The conversation continued with the voice said to be that of Beachy Stout.
Now, the phone the way have disposable, don't it? So if you even use it, it disposable can't link back to you.
In response, Bubbla said,
No man, if me even use this calling, nothing can wrong with that. Cause the chip, you know. So as me done with it, me go dash it away. Yeah, the sim for mash up, Zane.
Meanwhile, in the same recording, the voice said to be that of Beachy Stout was heard telling Bubbla not to leave any prints in a vehicle.
Remember, prints and thing we left in the vehicle. You know you have to burn it up.
Bubbla responded,
Oh man, a prince now left, man. Me not tell you how me deal with my thing, brother.
The prosecutor asked Bubbla which vehicle was being referred to in this instance and who drove it. He answered, a white Axio, Mistonia. The recording continued with the voice said to be that of Beachy Stout, saying,
Some girl the green light. Say to her, say, no bother buy one, you know, buy two. So me I go give him about 500 grand, make him travel with it.
According to Bubbla, Beachy Stout was talking about giving Tonia money to purchase guns. Further into the conversation, Beachy Stout said to Bubbla,
You know what you have to do, it not to come back.
The prosecutor asked what was meant by this. Bubbla answered,
When Miss Tonia leave to go buy the gun, me and her, me not for make sure come back home.
The prosecutor asked about the 500 grand that was mentioned. Bubbla said,
Me did supposed to take that money for myself after Miss Tonia dead.
While the recordings were playing, Beachy Stout was seen with his head held down in the dock. The 7 members of the jury sat and listened intently. The defense objected to Bubbla repeatedly giving his opinion as to what is meant by the conversation. According to Beachy Stout's attorney, Christopher Townsend, Bubbla was importing evidence that is not there, which is highly prejudicial and of no probative value. That objection was overruled. Presiding Judge Chester Stamp noted that the audio recording is already in evidence and that it was Bubbla who had the conversation with one of the defendants, so he can explain as to what is being said.
In an attempt to jog Minot's memory during cross-examination yesterday, Mr. Wellesley asked the convict if he had heard his voice saying it was his son following the playing of an excerpt in court earlier. Before the attorney could complete his question, Minot with a frown made a hand gesture. Fighting to hold back tears, Minot said, Me don't want to go back with my son and the taxi man there. No ask me about that. No ask me no question about that. Mr. Wellesley said, Put your hand down. Put your gun finger down. Minot said, You can't tell me what to do. Presiding Judge Justice Chester Stamp intervened. Justice Stamp, while noting that Minot looked stressed, told him that he would allow him a moment to compose himself and permitted him to step outside. After leaving the courtroom, Minot was observed crying while saying, "I him kill me son." After the break, Mr. Wellesley pressed further, asking Minot if it was his son, Fitzroy Minot, he was referring to in the recordings. Minot did not answer. Mr. Wellesley asked again in a high-pitched voice, "Was that your son, Fitzroy Minot?" Minot replied, "Don't shout at me." Minot reluctantly acknowledged that the police had arrested Fitzroy and that he was making reference to that son in the recordings. In another exchange, Mr. Wellesley asked Minot about $650,000 that was seized when he was arrested and if the money was returned. But Minot said, "That is not your business, sir. That is not your concern, no. That is not what me charged for." In another exchange, Mr. Wellesley accused the prosecution's main witness of being dishonest about his client Oscar Barnes' involvement in the murder. Minot replied, "I never lie, sir. See Mr. Barnes sit down there. Mr. Barnes can get up and tell you the truth." At that point, Mr. Wellesley said the witness was uncontrollable.
Minot also denied lying to the court when he said Mr. Barnes went with him to Tonia's house in an attempt to kill her, and the chief investigator, who was also recalled to the stand, insisted that there was no evidence to charge Minot's son. He said he had asked Minot about the references made to his son during the recordings, and he had given him an explanation. "You believe this man who is a murderer and a liar?" Mr. Wellesley asked before the judge intervened and told him that was not a question for the witness. Mr. Wellesley then asked the investigator if he accepted the words of a liar and murderer, but the police witness said he did not know Minot to be a liar. Earlier in the proceedings, one of Mr. MacDonald's attorney, Christopher Townsend, before completing his cross-examination, suggested that it was not his client's voice that was heard in the recordings, and that he was not involved in any conspiracy to murder his wife, but Minot disagreed. Minot also denied suggestions that he never had any conversation with Beachy Stout about killing his wife, and that he never told him that he was going to give his wife money to purchase guns. The witness also rejected a suggestion that he was not the one who made the recordings. In the meantime, the prosecution has closed its case.
Thanks for watching. This was a MyView TV production. Remember to share, like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell, tell a friend for tell a friend, and remember, it never bring nobody forward for cheer for him. Walk good.